find a mentor. That is something
Okay.
that I did not do well enough when I was sort of transitioning. So build your
Mhm.
network and find a mentor. That always helps.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. Today, I have a special guest, someone who I work closely with from time to time, and she'll be introducing herself shortly. And today, I just want to talk to her about her journey to being a citizen developer and probably other things as we go along. So, over to you. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit? Yeah.
So hi everyone. I'm Prerna Kapoor, and I'm excited to be here today with Wilson. So I'm a software developer who sort of loves building things using low code. I enjoy turning ideas, into functional solutions, and then seeing them come to life as finished products is really inspiring. And when I'm not working on projects, I like to promote inclusivity in tech. And on weekends, you can find me, curled up on a couch with a book on Netflix. So that's a short
Or
bit
doing a
about myself.
podcast, or being featured in a
Yeah,
podcast.
sometimes, yes.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I know you did not start off as a software developer. I know you started off as an
Uh-huh.
engineer, and there was that transition phase when you moved from engineering to software development. So, do you want to tell us about that? How did that start?
Yes. Uh-huh. So I was always, interested and fascinated by coding. Sort of that started from my schooling days. I did a bit of Python, the language, not a snake, during my schooling days, and and then so that sort of made the base for my interest. And then during university, I went on to study electrical engineering. And even during university days, like we had some coding subjects like C++, MATLAB, and everything. And although I was doing electrical, was still sort of inclined towards coding bit. Even when I was doing projects, I wanted to include some aspect of coding. For example, automation of automatic door opening or something like that. And then when I was in university, so my classmates also used to come to me to ask for help related to coding and everything. Uh, so by my final year, I realized that probably I'm a bit more inclined towards coding than I'm towards electrical, and then a job in IT was sort of a next clear step for me. So
Okay.
yeah, that's how I realized it.
Okay. So for you, it's been more of something you had passion for. So I guess
Yeah,
that decision to actually switch it wasn't difficult for you to make because it was something you
uh,
already loved. Was it difficult? And how did
a
your
bit, a bit.
take it? Because I know for some parents, they're like, oh, you studied this, or for friends and family as well. Why don't you go ahead? Did you encounter that at any point, and how did you handle that?
Um, so luckily, my family was pretty supportive of me
Oh,
not
good.
pursuing electrical. So that was not one of my challenge. But some other challenges that came up was when I was out there looking for a job. A common challenge was that I did not have a software engineering degree. And even though I was passionate and I knew about it, but that, sort of impacts when there are two candidates at the same level and they have the same performance and one has the degree. So even as a recruiter, I would feel inclined to go with the candidate who has the degree, right? Because they have the backing of that degree to sort of do it. Yeah, so yeah. But I think that was one of the biggest challenges I had. But so I continued, sort of polishing my skills, working on myself, to approach that. Initially, there were a lot of setbacks. At one point, I felt like, okay, maybe I can't do this. The imposter syndrome, is another challenge that is very real. So I can't do this. But then, yeah, I took a step back. I analyzed what's going wrong, what's happening, And towards the my final year, I think one breakthrough that happened was for me was that I got to know that there's a conference happening in Bangalore, which is sort of like Silicon Valley of India. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I had applied for it, and simultaneously I was applying for various jobs at companies, which was not really, I was not really making it through. So I went to that conference. I, met peers like me who are also interested in software engineering and IT field. And then I spoke with them, interacted with them, and, sort of got inspired there. Then there was this career fair that happened there, and I spoke to people who are in this industry doing the job that I wanted to do, and that helped. And after that, in fact, from there I secured an internship. So I think which was not in traditional software development, but in IT. So it
Yeah.
was DevOps. It was a field of
Okay.
DevOps, so which sort of combines development and IT operations together. So
Yeah.
release management, building release pipelines, some terms that people can search for which may be new to them, and agile and scrum and all that. So yeah, that was my breakthrough into tech. And I think that would be my advice as well, that if you're looking for a job and it's not working out, and if you're in college and you want to transition, then internship is a good stepping stone to that
Okay.
job. Sometimes those convert into full-time job. For for
Yeah.
me, that happened. My internship converted into my first job. And then, if even if that did not happen, at least I would have an experience, an IT experience in
Yeah.
my under my belt, which would help me to develop my skill set. And yeah. So, and that's how I sort of broke into IT. And I spoke about imposter syndrome a bit
Yeah.
before. So it's quite real. So I think talking to friends and family and
Mhm.
peers who are struggling through the same path helped. Then you realize it's not just you who is struggling, or who is stuck in that thing and not being able to get out. And yeah, so it helps talking to people and finding peers and building a network. And also time management was also another challenge, since
Okay.
I was still in college, and I still had my assignments and homework and tests related to my
I
electrical
know, right?
studies. Yes. And I needed to build up my skill set here so that I can compete with others who already had a software degree. So that was a bit of a challenge, but I think being consistent and setting up some time in your daily schedule just to focus on that helps,
Yeah.
and practicing daily, that helped me in that part.
No, good. I think you've listed quite a number of things people can do when they want to
Yeah.
move into software engineering from
Uh-huh.
electrical engineering. I think I also
Yeah.
experienced that lack of experience, and it's by either doing an internship. So luckily for me, my very first software engineering related job was immediately after graduation as well.
Uh-huh.
I was fortunate enough to get internship in a software development company, also a research company, and that really helped me even build my passion. So for those out there who they're looking for how to start, one of the ways is through internship. You mentioned talking to people as well. Yeah, for
Uh-huh.
people to do that. But did you consider getting any certification, any
Um,
structured learning, or for you that did not come because of your internship? You just went through it.
yeah, so I think while I was in college, the ed tech platforms were there, but it was not that prominent, or sort of uh, you know uh, what do you say, that sort of out there, and they were not
Okay.
really counted as actual things are a bit different right now. So if you even if you have certifications, people realize that it's actual learning and you did something. But I think at that
Yeah.
time they were not really that out there. So that thought did not come to my mind, and I think I wasn't really that aware about certifications at that point. So my main focus was trying to move into that career for me.
Okay. Tell us about low
So.
code and no code power platforms
Mm,
and all the things you do with it.
uh-huh. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, that I started my internship in DevOps. So I was looking to get into more of a traditional software development part because DevOps still, sort of includes a lot of release pipelines, release management, and moving things from one environment that is development, UAT, and production, amongst other things, and building scripts. Uh, but I wanted to move into sort of more coding and development oriented role. And then there was an opportunity in low code, and it seemed like a next stepping stone, right, to move into that because you don't have to do actual high level programming coding, but you're still building logics and developing stuff. So yeah, that was the next natural progression, and I got the opportunity to move into that when I converted into full time at my first job, and that was that was it. To that, no
Okay.
looking back.
And for people who want to go into low code, no code technologies, how long do you think it will take, and how would you advise them to start?
So obviously the first step is learning, and learning does not take very long, but till you don't get hands on with it, right, you don't realize the potential and what you can do with it. When I first started, I thought maybe, okay, I was not into a mindset of low code development. It was sort of like a stepping stone, as I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
I did not know that you can sort of achieve quite a lot what you can do with traditional software development with low code as well, but just
Yeah.
at a quicker and faster pace. So I did not realize that you will have complex problems there as well, and which you won't be able to figure out and everything. So yeah, till you don't get into the hands-on, right? You don't really learn. You can study all you want, but you need to practice to actually learn and experiment and grow into it.
Mm. And
So and
can
there will
pro
be
develop?
yeah.
uh,
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
So there will be no, particular timelines because everyone will be different. They will take their own different amount of times to do it.
Okay. Do you think pro developers can benefit
Mhm.
from citizen development using those low code no code platforms?
Of course, they can. So if I'm building a website in like a traditional language, say C++
Yeah.
plus plus or Java or whatever, JavaScript, then possibly I'll go through a lot of cycles. I'll go for a lot of cycles of writing code and testing, and you know developing would take a little longer than it would be with the low code development. And then with low code you can leverage the ideas that people who cannot code, citizen developers, have,
Yeah.
and they can start building a product, and then you can essentially transition that product into a beautiful professional thing. And then low code does not mean that it's just easy drag and drop stuff. You
Yeah.
can even combine the capabilities of professional, like, not, I won't say professional, but traditional coding along with the low code, and make that solution or product better. So yeah, obviously their pro code will also benefit from this. It's quite an
Okay.
exciting
Thank
field.
you. Yeah, I think it is, and it keeps evolving. Most of the service providers are adding new functionalities every day
Mhm.
that makes it very robust enough for you to actually build standard, very good tools that can be used at enterprise level. I think you're
Yeah.
working on the project on something like that. And yeah, so the possibilities are endless and people can benefit a lot from it. Okay. So the question now is, how is it going? Now you're
Uh,
fully in software development. How is
it's
it going? Is it going as expected, or it's also it comes with a lot of just tell us how is it going for you?
it's a honestly it's a love-hate relationship. So on the days that you miss that comma in your code, or
Yeah.
you somehow it's working in that lower environment and not in the production, those are the days that makes you feel like, okay, I need to shut my laptop down and throw it out of the window. And But when you finally manage to fix that one issue, or now that everything is working again and your product is or your solution is out there and helping people, it's one of the greatest feelings
Yeah,
in the world, I think. And yeah, and I do hate some of the aspects that comes with him, like the admin sort of work and the
yeah.
documentation. It's pretty important, mind you, so we still need to do it. But yeah, that is one of the lesser parts. That is one of the parts I like less about it. But yeah, it's going pretty well, I think. Yes,
Okay, good.
i'm s-
And
I'm enjoying it.
oh, good. And I think you are because each time we talk about it, you're always happy about it. I know some days you'll be like, okay, the code did not run, but at the end of the day, there's that satisfaction. So
Yeah.
wonderful. Do you see a role in artificial intelligence is in? I won't even say it's coming. It's
Uh-huh.
in, and more is being infused to some of these tools we use. What do you think about that in the nearest future? Will it help with the documentation, which you don't really like? What do you
Uh-huh.
think? And is it something people should start leveraging now
Uh-huh.
to help them, just in case they want to transition or do something in tech? What are your thoughts?
So I think AI, artificial intelligence, machine learnings are pretty hot topics that are
Yeah.
flying around right now. So we have things like co-pilots coming in, and generative AI, chat GPT. So I think these tools do make your life easier, especially with the documentation. A lot of you can sort of type a prompt and they will sort of generate a
Yeah.
document for you. So in that sense, it does make your life easier, and that's good for me because I don't really like that part of doing the documentation. I think if you're updated with those trends and the new things that are going on, it's always helpful, and you're learning a new thing, and it's pretty exciting to learn these topics as well. They're pretty interesting. So yeah, it would be helpful for uh, the people who are trying to transition and
Yeah.
to have a good direction and learn about it. Learning always helps.
Yeah.
And I think these fields would be quite in the upcoming years. So it's good to be updated with the trends.
Do you see yourself continuously coding, say for the next 20 years? Or is there any point? Do you think there'll be a point where you move on to something? Because I know people enjoy different things and different times, different seasons.
Mhm.
And I know some people are already set on it, like I will keep coding the rest of my life. For you, are you open to other things in this journey, or is it fixed? Like this is what you're doing, this is what you think you keep doing for the next couple
Mhm.
of years?
So for the next 20 years, I don't know. That is quite far away. But
Okay.
for now, yes, I like coding, and for now, maybe for at least for the next couple of years, I want to be, on a sort of technical side as well. Even if I'm doing other stuff,
Mhm.
I've seen people, they are doing other jobs, but they're still making time to
Yeah.
code stuff and build solutions that they're passionate about. So yeah, so I still sort of, even if it's not my main job, I still sort of see myself doing it at least for the next couple of years. But yeah, I will be open to new things as I go down the road, because you're growing, right? So I don't want
Yeah.
to be fixed on one thing and stop myself from growing. And yeah, as you learn, as you progress, you learn more things about yourself, and that changes you as a person. So
Yeah. Okay.
never say never.
Never say never. Uh,
Yeah.
one other thing I feel people need to know about is, or are the non-technical aspects of transitioning, right? One thing is learning the technical skills, the coding and all of that. Are there non-technical skills that people should imbibe or should learn while going through this phase and into the whole software development world? Are there things they need to prepare themselves for that are not necessarily technical?
So I think a big part of any job is the soft skills. So it's not only the technical skills that make you out there. So I think soft skills in any job plays a big part of you as a person and you as a corporate employee. So yeah, so I think one such skill is communication and stakeholder management. So that is, I think, pretty important because you're out there, you're talking to people, you need to convince people that this is the way to go. Sometimes they'll put up stuff like, oh, but I want this, but it's
Yeah.
not technically feasible. It's not everything can be done in a certain way, right? So yeah, I think communication, stakeholder management are two pretty important skills. Other than that, having a leadership qualities, ability to say no. Leadership
Yeah.
quality is like you're not leading people, but you need to lead from sidelines. You need to convince people slightly. This is sort of, if we can't do this, then maybe we can do this, and that's a better route to take. So yeah, these soft skills always help you as a person, not only in the tech job, but also other things that you're doing.
Okay. Now let's talk rewards. The tech industry, generally
Uh-huh.
speaking, from your experience, is it rewarding? Is it something? I was talking to someone the other day, and the person said he feels the tech job is a way out of poverty. Like it's one of the routes through which people can earn better. So beyond the passion, was there any part of it that was tied to, okay, tech job, good pay, good life? Uh, did that come into your mind at any point when you were thinking about
Uh,
this, or it was purely passion for you?
So yeah, monetary or reward aspect is always one of the consideration that a person has, right? So I'm doing I'm studying, and next part I want a job. I want to better my life, and passion was a big aspect, obviously, but obviously monetary aspect is equally important as well. So when I remember when I was in third year, we used to hear that, oh, person in IT got, a package of X amount. Wow, that is so
Yeah.
crazy. And that does not happen with everyone, mind you. So it's okay to start small. I started small, and most of the people start small. But yeah, it can happen. You get, that you will get a package that is sort of out of the blue, amazing, and instantly transform your life and everything. But yeah, it is, I think it will happen slowly as you gain experience and
Yeah.
sort of build towards it. So yeah, it is pretty rewarding, I think.
Okay. No, and I like what you said. Some people have this notion that, and while this can happen for some people, but there's this belief that immediately you come into tech, immediately you start earning X amount. I
Uh-huh.
think it doesn't really work that way. You need to start
Yes.
small, like every other career, every other job is as you
Mm.
build the expertise, the experience, people see the value, and then it becomes uh, rewarding. What I agree with, I think the time it takes to be rewarding or grow that portfolio, I think in the tech world, it's a bit faster compared to some other industries, right? But don't expect
Yeah.
to become an instant hit from your very
Millionaire.
first job. Yeah, it
Yeah.
requires time. All right, thank you. We're almost at the end. So question is, for you, are there projects? I know you mentioned D&I as some of the things you do outside.
Mm.
How is that going? How are you combining it with being a software developer and all of that? Are there other projects you do, and yeah, how's it going?
So out of the work projects I do, I sometimes, find time to increase knowledge about, the industry that I'm in, low code development. So sort of read, follow people who are doing this from long time, trying to see what they're doing, what new things they're experiencing, trying to, sort of learn from it. And yeah, and I mentioned DNI, so that is one of the passions I had from a long time because I saw from like young age, people are, at least it happened in my country, that people when they were studying engineering, the ratio of girls were very less in the class as compared to the boys. So yeah, so that is something that I'm passionate about to sort of give that opportunity to the women and girls as well. So always during my work, I try to find time to contribute to that cause, creating a safe and open space for women, trying to participate in communities that have that goal and sort of work towards that. And yeah, sometimes I'll be writing blogs with the new learnings. That is more to document what I've learned so that I can refer back to it in future and sort of inspire more people out there to get into it. Yeah, that's some of the things I enjoy.
Good. And please, I'll drop the links to her profiles on LinkedIn, on Medium. I know you're on Medium as well. Is there any other
Yep.
platform you'd like people to follow you on?
Now I'm majorly on LinkedIn and Medium for now, not doing podcasts like you, not popular like you.
No, I'm not. We're just trying to inspire people, right? And once again,
Yeah,
thank you so much for making
that
our
was a joke,
time.
by the way. That was a joke,
Yeah.
by the way.
But thank you for making our time. Thank you for, yeah, just talking to us today about what you do and how that journey has been. If there's maybe one last word you have for people watching, what will you tell them? Probably one last word.
Uh, Find a mentor. That is something
Okay.
that I did not do well enough when I was sort of transitioning. So build your
Mhm,
network and find a mentor. That always helps. That sort of
mhm.
streamlines what you're trying to do into a focused direction because you have someone to guide you and talk things through.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you to our listeners. We've come to the end of today's podcast and keep following this channel for more to hear what other people have to say. Thank you and bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.